Hello again. It's the 1985 NFL Draft. Number one pick overall by the Buffalo Bills, Bruce Smith. Defensive end, Virginia Tech. Hall of Famer, played in 4 Super Bowls. Buffalo Bills. See, it does take some years to get to the big game. It's teams are building themselves up. It's not an overnight thing, guys. Whenever you're drafting, don't think you're going to be in the Super Bowl that year or the next year. It could happen, but not in the 80s, apparently. Number one overall, again, was Bruce Smith, Hall of Famer, NFL all-time sack leader, as far as I know. If he's not number one, he's number two or three. Atlanta Falcons, Bill Fralick, tackle, Pittsburgh. I believe he's in the Hall of Fame. Houston Oilers, Ray Childress, defensive end, Texas A&M. Now, I'm going to start probably knowing more of these players because by 1985, I was already 11. We moved from Ann Arbor to Florida in the summer. So we moved to Ann Arbor, as I mentioned, I grew up watching the Detroit Lions, and then I was stuck watching the Succaneers, as they were aptly called. And the funny thing is because of I-75, a lot of Detroit Lions fans actually live in Tampa Bay. So at the games, they would have half T-shirts, half Lions and half Buccaneer shirts. It's kind of a funny thing. So, or more of the fans would be rooting for the Lions. And when Walter Payton would come and play, of course, the stadium would sell out. The big sombrero. Number three, the Houston Oilers, Ray Childress, defensive end, Texas A&M. I've already said that. Minnesota Vikings, Chris Dolman, linebacker, Pittsburgh. Indianapolis Colts, Dwayne Bickett, linebacker, Southern California. Very, very interesting that the first 5 picks, 4 of them are on the defensive side. Detroit Lions, Lomas Brown, tackle, Florida. Green Bay Packers, Ken Ruettgers, tackle, Southern California. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, aforementioned Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which of course were the Succaneers. Ron Holmes, defensive end, Washington. Philadelphia Eagles, Kevin Allen, OT, offensive tackle, Indiana. New York Jets, Al Toon, wide receiver, Wisconsin. Believe he's in the Hall of Fame. If not, he really should be. Houston Oilers, Richard Johnson, defensive back, Wisconsin. San Diego Chargers, number 12 pick, Jim Leachey, guard, Ohio State. Seeing kind of a trend here. Cincinnati Bengals, Eddie Brown, wide receiver, Miami, Florida. Buffalo Bills, Derek Burrows, defensive back, Memphis. 15, Kansas City Chiefs, Ethan Horton, running back, North Carolina. So far, not a single quarterback has been selected in the first round. Here we go. Number 16 overall. Wow. Jerry Rice, wide receiver, Mississippi Valley State. I mean, for a long time, he was considered the greatest of all time. He's a completely dependent position. There's not enough words to describe Jerry Rice impact on the NFL, on offense for sure. Dallas Cowboys, Kevin Brooks, defensive end, Michigan. St. Louis Cardinals, Freddie Joe Nunn, linebacker, Mississippi. I believe I've heard of him. New York Giants, George Adams, running back, Kentucky. Pittsburgh Steelers, Darrell Sims, defensive end, Wisconsin. Not a lot of offensive players taken. Chicago Bears, William Perry, the refrigerator, defensive tackle, Clemson. Super famous, was in the Super Bowl the very next year. Los Angeles Raiders, Jesse Hester, wide receiver, Florida State. New Orleans Saints, Alvin Tolles, linebacker, Tennessee. Cincinnati Bengals, Emmanuel King, linebacker, Alabama. 26, Denver Broncos, Steve Sewell, running back, Oklahoma. 27, Miami Dolphins, Lorenzo Hampton, running back, Florida. Okay, now we're getting some offensive players. Skill positions, as they're so called. New England Patriots at 28, Trevor Matich, center, Brigham Young. Oh boy, we're getting to a name I'm not going to be able to pronounce. Buffalo Bills, Mark Trayanovich. Is that correct? Tackle, Nebraska. Minnesota Vikings, Isaac Holt. Didn't he end up? No, not the same Isaac Holt. Okay, defensive back, Alcorn State. Number 30, number 31, Denver Broncos, Vance Johnson, wide receiver, Arizona. We see a lot of wide receivers being taken. 32, Indianapolis Colts, Don Anderson, defensive back, Purdue. So, This is the it's 85 draft. So well, William Perry was drafted and went right to the Super Bowl in his rookie year. Impressive. So we have Bruce Smith, Hall of Famer. I believe Bill Fralick, Al Toon. I'm not 100% sure. And I mean Jerry Rice. I mean, is there another player? I mean, again, Jerry Rice. No offense to Al Toon or anybody who ever made it to the NFL, but Jerry Rice is considered the GOAT of wide receivers for sure. There's nobody above Jerry Rice in almost everybody's opinion. Some people say Randy Moss, but no offense to Randy Moss, I think even Randy Moss would agree that he can't touch the route running and the overall skills of Jerry Rice. Plus, he played in the '80s. Just, as we mentioned, having to run over the middle. Just thank you, Jerry Rice.